Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back, and my voice is back. We did the live stream last night. It is not even 12 hours later. It is around 11 o'clock a.m. So not even 12 hours later. And my voice is pretty much back to normal. I honestly think doing the live stream helped a great deal. I was not talking at all. Like, I was going on jobs and like writing things on pads, texting people for days, saying I gotta rest my voice. But because Vox Machina Season 2 is starting and The Last of Us is starting in 2 weeks, I was like, why start a new show? Chucky ended, Rick and Morty ended, something else ended. And then I was like, what am I going to do? Start a new show for 2 weeks? I tend to do that because I get impatient and I want to jump into other things. And then I end up having like 7 shows running at the same time and I get way too drained and then I die inside. So I was like, I'm going to do it logically. I'm going to take a week or two between Christmas and New Year's because it's holidays anyway. And anyway, we're back. I'm going on a rant, but my voice is back for the most part. It's still a little raspy, but enough to be my normal self and be animated like I usually am. The Stowaway, we just watched it, 3-hour live stream. It was short of 3 hours by, I believe, a minute, but that is one of, if not the longest we've ever done. Amazing. It blew right by. We lost Twiggy. We didn't lose her. She didn't die, but she's gone. Deborah and Wall, great. One of my favorite, if not my favorite of all the guests. We are in, or were in, the Happy Fun Ball. 100 chambers. We only have seen 3. The third one had a dragon. I don't know what that was all about. It was a little young dragon. Twiggy killed it. No one saw it, but Caduceus at least did his thing and we figured it out. Let's just see what we got here. I didn't see who joined us yet. It is very easy to get to the cards now because they are literally time-stamped in the videos where I could go right to the card. So now I don't see who is there. It's kind of a surprise and I like it that way. I didn't watch the beginning. I did actually see in the very beginning, though, Brian said something about officially getting engaged to Ashley Johnson, but it was just on Brian and I didn't see who it was. So we're just going to jump in. I'm curious to see. I want to know where we go from here or what we're going to talk about. We could make a whole campaign out of this Happy Fun Ball. So you guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon hour exclusive of every episode of this show. We're going to jump right into episode 46 after this. And there's also hundreds of movies, thousands of episodes, hundreds of shows. Check it out. Patreon link at the end. If not, episode 45, Vox Machina. We're looking good.
We begin tonight's discussion the way we begin every discussion.
What is
tragically.
it? Tragically.
With crit roll stats.
Oh!
It's not tragic.
I hear
that
Sam.
part's not tragic. Not.
Who's that other
played
voice?
so brilliantly by you, Sam.
Oh, that was Danny.
Continues to have
I
the
heard
most
Sam and
kills
Danny.
of the group.
Really?
37.
37
Wow.
kills.
She has a knack for just
Matt Mercer.
finding her shot, right?
That's almost a kill an episode.
Wow, you're right. Wow.
Almost
she's
a kill an episode.
deadly lady.
Yes.
Well, you're a rogue. You should be.
Yeah.
You should be.
I'll take it.
Agreed.
I'll take it.
Imagine when you get more powerful, too. At 45 episodes,
this
we
sweater
also
we
reached
got?
our
Turkey,
45th
does it
How Do You
say?
Want to Do This of Campaign 2.
Oh, no way.
That's pretty awesome.
Look at that
We're
timing.
right on track. Contractually, 1 an episode, right?
1 an episode. How do you want to
meet
do
that
this?
minimum
1 an
quota,
episode.
man.
Oh my God! It says
It's
yippee
up to you
ki
guys.
yay.
Pressure's
Yippee
on
ki yay. I
you.
couldn't see the beginning.
Twiggy's dragon
Die Hard,
kill
one of
was
my
the
favorites.
5th guest kill of campaign.
That was
2.
ridiculous. Like, as it got to it, I was like, no,
I was sitting there,
are
I'm
we
like,
gonna
oh
do this
no,
again?
this is not
Are we
going to
doing
happen.
this again?
I love it.
It was great. It was perfect,
Yeah.
but like,
I love it.
man, like even I feel like it's scripted now.
Did it start? Who was the first, Danny? Was Mary the first guest to get a? How do you want to
think
do
she
this?
was.
Oh God, I don't actually know the answer to that.
I don't actually know the answer.
Sorry, I'm not as good with my
I'm
stats.
honestly
That's
surprised.
why
I feel
roll
like,
stats
are we
is
talking
better.
campaign 1, 2?
Certainly
I'm
wasn't
assuming
Will
we mean
Wheaton.
campaign
Yeah,
1 as
by any
well.
I think it might have been Mary.
Okay.
I know she killed the white dragon. I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
She's
she
gotten
and
2.
Will
She's gotten 2, yeah, because she got
and
a
Felicia
beholder
and
too,
Will
right?
were the first guest stars, so it has to have been Mary.
I think it was,
because neither Will nor Will
That might have spoiled
nor
something,
Felicia
but I don't know
got
what
a
they're
kill.
talking about.
Yeah.
So it has to have been Mary.
I'm just gonna go blah
Will
blah
and
blah
Felicia
blah.
was
I'm
my
just gonna
favorite
pretend I don't know
NBC
anything.
sitcom.
Right after 227.
See, I don't know what he did. I'm like,
Okay, so that
I
was
just
the
heard a
5th
bunch of
guest kill of
numbers and
campaign
names.
2, and the second guest. How do you want to
Out
do
of my
this of
mind.
campaign 2? In campaign
I don't even know. That
1,
could have been a one
guests
shot.
got
I don't know. I didn't
22
recognize any of
kills,
those names.
4 of which were How Do You Want to Do This? this also was the longest episode of Campaign 2 and the 4th longest game of the entire series.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know. So I wonder if.
It didn't feel like
do you
it, though.
think
I was on
Molly
the edge of
was
my
the next
seat the
longest?
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
I
finished
didn't
and
know.
went,
I just said at the
look the
beginning.
clock. Oh,
I
I'm
thought
so
it might have been
sorry.
the longest. He
Yeah.
just
It was
confirmed
exciting.
It was a good
longest
That was a great
Really
episode.
good.
Yeah,
of the
finally.
campaign.
Matt,
I was going to say, I don't recall
let's
many
begin with you.
that
Sure.
were close to 3
Need
hours of
Blade wants
actual
to know-
live stream.
Need Blade?
We'll do a
Blade?
3-hour live stream,
what
but I'll
would you
talk
say?
for like an hour.
Nebulade.
Me too. Matt, did you expect Twiggy to be as eccentric and goofy as she was? Was there any ways that the lovely Deborah Ann Wall played
The
her that
lovely.
surprised
He
you at
added
all?
that. How dare
Many.
he
I mean, like,
put
we
words
had discussed
in
the character
Nubalad's
when we had met
mouth.
beforehand
Nubalade,
to kind of figure out
Nubalade.
where it was coming from, how it would fit in there, and discussing kind of narrative elements there. But it was all backstory and
love we got
mechanics
the
and
Brian
fitting her
pillow
in there.
over
I
there
didn't
with the
quite know how
eyes
much personality she was going to bring to the
glazed
table.
out.
And that's like that with most guests. Like for the most part, I don't really know what they're going to do until they show up, and that's part of the excitement
They don't
for me.
rehearse their lines with you or anything, or like they
Not
don't.
with me, with our producers. They go over it. Yeah, I don't have
I mean,
that
like they
time.
don't say like I could do this voice or.
I don't have
like,
The only person that did that, I think, was Kari.
Okay.
Because I think he was finding it in the space,
Yeah.
and we're both just nerdy actors anyway. And so he kind of found Shikasta at the table when we were developing it. But I had no idea what Deborah was going to bring to it. So it was exciting for me, and I was just kind of like, whoa, this is amazing, and like the dynamic and like the unique kind of jealousy aspects that crept up. As soon as she said that she wanted to be an arcane trickster, I was like, ooh, okay, that's going to be. It's gonna be just enough interesting overlap to see how it affects, and it had like exactly the results
Arcane
that I was
trickster.
expecting.
I mean,
Yeah, she
it
was a
worked with
blast.
the bow.
I mean,
or,
we've seen her play so
gesture
much,
and
and you've
not
played with her in
dynamic.
Force Grey, obviously.
Yeah, she's badass.
She's awesome.
But like we wanted to have her on as a guest a long time ago. I think she was like one of the first guests we reached out to when we
be.
started streaming.
Could be.
Could be. Could
But
be.
at the time,
Very
you know,
possible.
for her especially, D&D is a very personal thing, like it was for us before we decided to
Right.
stream this. And we were like, I don't know if it's something I feel comfortable doing on the internet. She had the exact same scenario and basically said no. I was like, no, I appreciate that, but yeah, I don't know if I want to do this
But it
in
was
front of
giant
people.
deer
It was worth the
outside
wait
my
because she was
window.
like she was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
She knows her stuff.
so
her character was
descriptive and-
hilarious.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I am outraged about Daredevil, by the way.
Oh,
I
as
am
you should be.
outraged.
I
don't
we
want to
talked
cause
about
a
this.
situation here, but I'm pissed.
We talked about this
I'm
in the live
pissed.
stream.
Same.
I
It's
never
like,
saw season
you know,
1.
Danny, if they
The
canceled
hall
Constantine,
fight-
if they just canceled him.
Oh yeah, if
hallway
they just
fight, I think
canceled
people call it.
Constantine. Why would
Yeah.
anyone do that?
I don't know.
I've never seen
NBC.
Constantine either.
A
Nor
great
have
network.
I seen.
You know, a wonderful.
Was it
Sam,
Constantine?
Dickymon wants, or it's Dickmon? I don't know what it is,
Dickymon?
man. It's
I feel
Dickymon,
like
it's Dickmon,
maybe it's Constantine.
I don't
I'm
know.
thinking of.
Dykemon, I don't know.
Daikemon.
Dykemon.
Thank you.
That came on.
Thank you.
Dykemon. Dykemon.
How was it playing
Dykemon.
alongside another small arcane trickster? Also, did Knott's
Dykemon,
view on Twiggy
Dickymon.
change
It
before
could be a lot.
or
It could be all of
after the
those.
Sphere adventure?
It was fun to play alongside an arcane trickster because she was very good at it.
I enjoyed it. I thought she was very good.
Used
Very,
her mage hand
very much that kind of
effectively.
character.
She picked locks. She did all kinds of fun, great stuff that I always forget to do. So it was great. Yeah, she was. It was awesome for me as a player to just kind of watch. For
It didn't
Knott,
hurt.
I think
Nothing against her because I loved her.
Not
but it didn't
saw
hurt
in
that she came with a
Twiggy,
happy fun ball
some
of
of the things
chambers
that
and
make Knott
secrets.
unique, and maybe got a little bit of jealousy in there towards the second half. But seeing the second half of the question was
It was about whether or not your view on her changed before or after the Sphere adventure.
I think that whatever creeping jealousy Knott and Jester were feeling before the fight were quickly reversed.
Yeah, because they did.
Twiggy was
They did get a little
excellent in
jealous.
fight.
The group was really digging
and
her.
ended up kind of saving
got a little jealous.
saving the day a little bit too at the end there. So,
Yeah.
no spoilers. Everyone's seen this already, right?
He
hope
doesn't
so.
know how this
whole
works.
thing's a
He forgot
spoiler.
how Talks
I
Machina
This
don't
whole
know
works.
thing
how
is
this
a
show
spoiler.
works.
You've been away from Neverland too
Sam has
long.
been on the show
During
many a time.
Critical Role at the
Yes.
same time.
Yes.
We're airing it
that
at the
way
same
people
time.
just really understand what's
Okay,
happening.
okay.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Matt,
Yes.
Clearly
L4
Sam
wants
is
to know,
just
was the
insane,
Happy
and I love
Fun
him.
Ball something you had been planning on unleashing on the party soon, or was it made for Twiggy once you realized
I
Deborah
like that
was going to
question.
be on
I
a
thought
sailing and
Deborah came up
carpentry
with it,
episode?
honestly. In my head, I thought Deborah
I've
came
been
up
toying with
it.
that narrative device for a while. Like I was planning at some point in the game to bring it in. I wanted it to
But
be
that's
just
right.
a
If
fun.
Deborah, I thought maybe Deborah
it's
came up
essentially
with the
a pocket
idea
dungeon
of
and
having
with a bunch of lore attached to it, with a
puzzle.
lot more to explore. And I wanted to kind of find a way
pocket dungeon.
to bring it into the story when it felt proper. And then when me and Deborah were working out our schedule, 'cause I've asked her to come on back in June, but she was filming and everything was crazy. And it was like, all right, we'll try later on in this year. And so when November rolled around, we finally had the time for it. I was like, okay, well, based on how you're
Can you
available,
imagine trying to make time
we're going to be on a
with
boat in the
famous
middle of the
celebrities
ocean.
while they're
And,
filming shows we watch?
I think I have it, and so that's when I brought that device in. I fleshed it out, and then worked with her for the story about the auction house and her kind of thieving it away from someone she didn't want to have it, and then her being a stowaway on the ship. It worked out as a perfect way to kind of get her in for an episode, then get her out with a little kind of. It's essentially a bottle episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it worked
And it
out well. I
gives
didn't
us
expect for that to
something
be the
to
device,
continue
but
to
it
play
turned
with.
out when I looked at everything kind of before me.
I mean, it's like the
most
memory of
effective way
Twiggy
of bringing her in.
will live on through this Happy
Can
Fun
I
Ball.
ask a follow-up?
I would love it if you did.
Being that this is partly my show as well.
It is, yes. 50%. It's 50% your show.
But although I might be robbing a question from one of the viewers, but in your mind, Matt, is that Happy Fun Ball, was that a device for this one episode and maybe we shouldn't touch it anymore? Or is it there for us
he
to
isn't gonna
explore
answer that.
forever?
The device was placed in the hands of an arcane trickster who liked to thieve and keep things, with the unfortunate DM assumption that she would take it with her at the end of the episode.
Oh,
But she
interesting.
left it.
But she left it. So now it's in your purview. 100+ rooms of extraplanar danger that you don't really know how it works. So
A sphere of many
we'll see
things.
where that goes. It is a sphere of many things.
How
things,
funny is that?
ultimately.
Matt
So yeah, now I
expected
get
her,
to, I
so
get to
that
expand
question
upon that
ended
if
up
should
being
you
pretty
ever
awesome.
dare. And
I was thinking Matt would
Okay,
just not
good to
answer.
know.
I thought Matt was going to say,
Even I
it's
don't know
up
what
to
the
you
fuck's
guys.
gonna
I
happen.
know.
That's crazy.
Silver
So he
Travis
was
will want
thinking,
to go back.
I honestly thought so too.
Poorly.
The way it
Yeah,
went down,
I mean,
I
we know
thought
how he is
maybe
with
Matt told her to.
things like that.
I thought
Yeah.
maybe at the end Matt was like,
Sam,
whatever you want to do,
Darlette
just make
wants to
sure
know,
at the end they end
does
up
not
with it
resent
because I have
Ford at all
plans for it.
for
That's literally
touching
what
the
I
window
thought.
and
He's
setting a
saying the
time limit
opposite.
on exploring the library.
He's saying he thought she would have took it with her, and now it's like up for grabs to what happens happens.
No.
Jack Lemmon, ladies and gentlemen, there's one for the millennials.
I don't think Not resents Ford, certainly not for touching the window. Not touches everything.
Yeah, how would not have the right to question
For
anybody's
setting a
touching?
time limit on the library, I think Not
Unless
would
it's
have preferred to stay in the
improper touching.
library longer. But it was also a dangerous place full of monsters that kept biting us.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's not like we could just luxuriate around the place. Who knows what else that library had?
I'm
there was
curious.
that weird ruby book.
Because
What
we've
happened
only
if we touched that thing?
Yeah.
Who knows?
There was
A
other
giant
things that were
creature,
very
another
weird.
dragon could have come out.
My thing
we
is-
don't know.
Happened to
Till we
attack
go
you.
back in,
I know.
Like the least
Yeah.
like
do the
innocuous thing
same
in the
order
room.
of chambers?
I know.
Is
It's
it
the
random
second time a
chambers
mimic
every time?
has attacked me.
Because
has
now
attacked
we
Not,
can like
right?
progressively go
And
through the chambers.
It was
Successfully.
the second mimic that y'all
Each time
fought.
it's the same
Knew it.
pattern, which I'm
Sorry, there was
thinking
like a
it
bunch
would
of people
be.
who were tweeting that it was the first mimic, and I was like, it wasn't the first mimic. Am I going
I'm trying to
crazy?
remember.
I think Not didn't Not touch a mimic in.
Yeah, I
In
thought
the
so.
intro, she does.
No. In the place where we had, there was a
I thought so too.
A rug, and I was using my mage hand a
That was
little.
a rug of smothering.
That was a rug of smothering.
Oh, that wasn't a mimic, was it?
I think that may have been the first actual mimic you fought in this campaign.
I was gonna say, yeah,
You fought
wasn't
him in
that
the previous one?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Maybe I
thinking
was
of the
also
mimic from
thinking
I
that
was
was
Vox
mimic.
using the
Machina.
rug with the mimic because it enveloped me.
It did, yeah.
I thought we did though, but I could be
Wow. It was
thinking
the
of.
first mimic.
It's
But
also
the second
possible I'm
piece of
thinking of a
furniture
one
you had to
shot.
fight off.
I've
that's true.
definitely
That is
seen
an
a
actual-
mimic
Yeah.
before.
When we did Travis's
It could have
one
either been
shot
Vox Machina, the show.
last year, there was another mimic that
Or
got me
one
then.
shot.
I'm just getting my mimics.
You're a mimic. You're a,
You
you're
guys
a
might
mimic
know.
magnet, man.
Where have I seen a
I'm running
mimic?
straight.
Hashtag mimic magnet.
pretty
That's
sure
a
Vox
mouthful,
Machina.
just like you, Sam.
Had one in the show.
Matt,
I
yes.
can't
Malene
remember what I'm.
Lund
In my head,
Stogard
I'm
wants to know.
picturing it.
People have
I just
a lot
can't
of nerve
picture
giving
what
us
it's
their full
from.
names. How much do you enjoy putting little buttons in the game to tempt Travis Willingham, knowing he can't resist touching a hot plate?
It's less specifically for Travis and more just fucking with players. Anyone who's done the master
Curiosity.
knows that, you know, it's fun to put those very, very tempting things and have some be rewarding and have some not be.
Right.
That way you keep them guessing, you know. When it comes down to D&D, you can be as careful and methodical as your advancement as you can, but you reach a certain point where you're like, I just want shit to happen.
Yeah.
Surprise me.
Yeah.
And I think the longer you've played, the more comfortable
Travis
you are with that reality.
definitely
Usually,
fiddles with things
or
he
you pride
shouldn't.
yourself on being like, I've
Just
never lost a
recently,
character.
in, like,
I
the
almost
last
never lose
2
hit points. I'm the
episodes.
best dungeon delver ever. I send out all my minions before touch every single tile on the floor, so I'm never hit by a trap. I'm like, cool. Is that really adventure though? Is that really
Yeah,
fun?
right.
So I admire the player that occasionally gets bold, and which is why I like to keep a mix of like some shiny red buttons are rewarding, some are not, and even the ones that aren't rewarding.
My
if you
brother
were to
used to be like that. We would play
succeed at the
role-playing
challenge that it
games,
presents,
and
there
I
may be
would
an
just
award,
be like
a reward past that.
straight
Yeah.
offense, running
I
into
appreciate
hell,
that,
never stopping to talk
for
to
someone as
people.
meticulous and
I would
as,
very rarely upgrade my
careful
items
as
as
Liam is,
fast
that
as
he
I
has
could. I
Travis
wanted
at
to
the same
just
side
get
of
through
the
the
table,
game,
and they
but it
kinda
was
balance
because
each
I
other
didn't
out.
like
They do.
Works
they
out
really
well.
do.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
doing
it's
all
one-
the
yeah,
side
both ends
questing
of the-
stuff. I just wanted the
Now,
main
your-
goal.
your,
My
your
brother
flask
would talk to
message
every
this week
person,
about we're gonna
touch
need a bigger
everything,
flask.
open
Yes.
everything.
Was that a call to action to the fans to send you an even bigger
no,
flask? 'Cause
Brian.
don't
I
believe-
understand.
Oh, no.
I
Steve,
understand.
correct me
Now
if I'm
more
wrong.
like
Are we
that.
able to frame out any more
When I was
to fit a
younger.
bigger flask?
No,
we
we're
are.
not.
Steve says we are able to fit a larger flask.
Wow.
The problem
I
is-
can't even imagine a larger flask exists
How
in the world.
drunk do you want
I
to be by the end of the episode?
definitely
It's all water.
know
as we
there's a
know.
flask.
As we know, it's all water. I
we
just
all sip
meant-
water on the show.
How water drunk do you
Yeah,
want to be?
water drunk. Man, I can't even imagine a bigger flask. It's already heavy. It holds 127 ounces, that
Oh,
thing.
my goodness.
Which I think, Danny, look it up.
It's
Is
a
that over a
gallon.
gallon?
Yeah, I think it's over a
God,
gallon.
gotta
don't
be.
make me do
I
this.
think 120.
100 and what?
128
I think
ounces?
128 is a
Hey,
gallon.
Siri, how many ounces are in a gallon?
Let's see if I'm right. 128.
1 gallon is 100
1 gallon, yeah.
It's
It's
one
exactly
gallon.
1 gallon.
128.
I'm
No,
just
it's
as
not.
fast as Siri,
He said 127.
You are.
It's
That's
1
what we
ounce
found
short,
out. We need
Brian.
to
How
charge your
dare
battery. You'll be even faster.
True.
Do you guys like this? Taliesin got me this.
128 ounces.
I was saying
so that is
earlier,
about
it's
a gallon
the size
flask.
that he
I'm
wanted
joking,
it to
but
fit me.
A gallon
Not
flask is pretty
necessarily,
diesel.
you know, but it's Die Hard, which we know is a Christmas movie.
It is confirmed.
Very much
Proved
Christmas
and
movie.
confirmed by this. Let's give away some free shit, right? And then we'll keep
Yeah,
talking
let's do
about
it.
the fun stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Gift of the Week.
Gift for the week.
Fun, Brian. Our winner, ooh, a little electric guitar.
I'm
landing
trying to
bar
tell.
there.
What's next to the lighters? I'm the
Our
sweater.
winner for campaign
What
2,
is that
episode
an image of
45, was
next
sent
to
in by
the lighter?
Critical
I can't tell what that is.
Schluck. Let's take a look.
Critical Schluck? Critical Schluck. Coming soon in 2019. I have an intelligence of 6. I know what I'm doing.
Great.
From then until now.
now.
An intelligence of 15. I know what I'm doing.
Join the search for a man. A man lost between worlds.
This was
A man struggling to recover from being idiot for 5 years. The search for Ford.
Vox Machina. The search. What is that other
That's
name?
pretty great.
I don't know what that name was. It might
Oh
have been a
man!
spoiler. Might have
Congrats
said
to you,
Grog.
Critical Schluck. You have won this epic, insanely soft,
I
insanely
wish
beautiful.
I think it was Matt
Critical
doing the
Role Retro
voiceover.
tee available
I wish
now
Matt
at
did the
shop.
whole thing. He only did it when it was going to black.
That was a good
I
one.
wanted a
That
full
one made me
voiceover
laugh.
for Matt.
That one made me chuckle. All right, moving on.
Moving on. Moving on.
Let's see here.
About 15 minutes in.
Which one of you do I want to hear more than the other?
This is probably the only time I'll be on the show. in the
Yeah,
next
so
3
get as many
months,
questions.
Sam, Benjamin Baffles.
They
wants
talked
to
about that in
know,
the last one. That Sam
How does not feel about
wouldn't be
Caleb's
available
choice
till
to
after
turn down
April,
more
I
spell
think they
books
said.
to reunite
And it's obviously
with the rest
Christmas
of the party?
time. 4 months, no Sam.
As with most things, not probably thinks that Caleb was acting smartly in the moment and was making the right choice. But I think Not was really trying to get as many books as possible. I don't know if they were all spell books. We haven't even looked at the ones that we stole already. Borrowed?
Borrowed. There are books. It's our puzzle.
But definitely not
sphere.
his on Team Caleb in terms of getting as much knowledge in that head of his as possible, and would have loved to have another 10 minutes to pick those locks and get more books, because a smarter Caleb is a more powerful Caleb, and
Smarter
possibly
Caleb is a happy Caleb.
a Caleb that can stay alive a little bit longer in this game. So that's priority one for Miss Knott.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts on the whole scenario? I mean, for me, I love watching characters put in situations where they have to choose between their long-reaching character goals or intended character goals,
Or helping others.
and the safety of the people they've come to take as their family.
Yeah.
And I think this episode had a few moments like that where Caleb has been so obsessed. I mean, he spent every town. He's like, "Where's the books?
Cheers.
Tell me where the
Town,
books are."
every room.
About halfway. I
That's
figured
true.
I'd
You
crack
enter
a
a cave.
seltzer.
Are there any books?
Football, week
No, you're in
18
a cave.
starts.
And I mean,
2
the whole
hours.
room
I'm
was
very
meant to be a
excited.
room to
I'm
be
gonna watch
explored
this,
with all sorts of
then
positive and
episode
negative
46,
things attached to all that exploration.
and then football,
but as soon as
final
Ford
week of
pushed that
football
button,
today
it
and
put a
tomorrow.
timer on it, and I was like, "Oh, how's this going to go?" And the
Yeah.
more time that was spent, the more I'm just sitting there like ticking away on my sheet, like,
Yeah.
how much longer they're going to be behind the rest of the group.
Yeah.
It got
I
really intense, and I
was
was
paying
fascinated to see
attention
that
to
struggle.
when Caleb
and I
and
was
Knott
actually really
dropped down.
proud of both of them
Yeah.
to only taking the time they did.
Honestly, I thought it was
And
all handled.
I'm genuinely really excited to
well.
see
It would have
what
been
happens this Thursday.
very
like
odd.
there was so much emotional tension, and there was so much fear, and I don't know. The dynamics this week are going to make, I think, for some really interesting role play this week.
Yeah, there were
I'm
some
excited.
close fucking calls,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Very
You
close
turned this
calls.
fucking
One
iPad
hit
around
point.
and one hit point. I
One
was like, you
hit
son of
point.
a bitch.
Yeah, it was a high.
And the
it was a
whole
high
like,
risk
am I gonna
exchange.
go or am I gonna attack? And he's holding his dice for 5 minutes.
I know. I love it.
Just like, I don't know. And it
With
was like,
one
I
hit
was sitting
point,
home going, don't
knowing-
you fucking roll that stupid
Yeah,
dice,
if
dude.
you
Put
rolled
that
it-
shit away.
my
knew that
my
shit-eating
theory.
grin meant
Had
like-
he
But there
rolled
was
it,
there was some
had
there was a
she
lot of
rolled
stuff.
it,
The stuff
not-
Jester had a moment where
Yeah.
it looked like
I was thinking
she was
maybe
gonna
somebody
be
could
abandoned
jump back in
by the rest of the team.
device
Not like
and
in a vicious way, but
rapid
in a,
fire get
like,
to not
situational-
before.
Yeah, somebody
I
somebody
thought
left,
that was the
you know,
only
like,
solution had
sometimes
that
when a big
happened,
family
but
goes to a mall,
it didn't go there.
little Johnny gets left behind at the mall.
Sometimes little Johnny.
You don't have to tell Max's story live on the air, dude. Jesus Christ.
Little
Still out there
Johnny,
looking, Max,
aka
I
Max.
promise.
Poor Max.
They're gonna find you, buddy. That's why we keep putting you on camera as often as we can. We have one of those artist renderings of this is what he looks like now, you know.
Poor Max. I think we've seen him like one time.
Matt,
Max.
speaking of, we were saying
Not
earlier,
often.
Kimbo Majestic, if Ford would have touched somewhere else on the window, would it have taken them elsewhere, i.e. the plane of fire, et cetera, et cetera?
I don't want to say too much because they still have the sphere.
Oh, yeah. of course.
Mind you, we'll see if they ever find their way back to those chambers. But they're from a push, no. But there are ways to invoke other aspects of that stained glass window to take you other places. But
Okay.
that's a mystery.
I
but now
understand.
Sam
no
knows.
further questions,
That
Your
was
Honor.
more than enough. That was already
said
very
that
much
before.
spoiler territory. You just, I mean, up until then,
Ryan.
Someone
no
has
one
said
might have
that
thought twice.
before,
Now
yeah,
there
on
are
my
other.
behalf.
I'm happy he did because you
Sam,
can't.
now ye
I mean,
tens.
there's so many mysteries.
I do my best,
I'm not
guys.
going to care.
I
if we
did
get
in
a couple,
2018,
but that's
my best.
interesting. The stained
What
glass
was going through
is a
Knott's head
portal.
when she decided to take the attack from the dragon
More
so
than
the
just
jester
one.
was not attacked? Was she conscious of the fact that she could die? And if so, was she willing to die for her friend?
She was definitely aware that it could be a killing blow, and she was ready. She was ready if that was the case. Yeah, I think.
I mean, I would have
what
to
was going
assume
through
that,
her
right?
head is what
Not isn't an idiot. Not
goes
as
through her head
chaotic
when she's
and
around Caleb a lot, which is
acts
just like
quickly, maybe sometimes
gotta
before she
protect
should.
this, protect
But I
this
don't
guy.
think she's
Gotta
an
protect
idiot.
this jester.
I think she
gotta
knows what
protect
she's
my
doing when she
friends.
does it. Like as far as
She's very
what's on the line.
protective and maternal. Yeah,
Yeah.
It came into play. And
Look at
if
Brian's eyes on the
if I as a player just if I had gone down doing that, I would have been cool with that too.
it would have been badass, but
yeah, because ultimately it's
not
that's
could have been gone.
still
It
sticking
would have
to
been
her
badass
goals in a way that
you died in a chamber
yeah,
of
you
secrets.
could feel like
fighting
wonder,
a
we
dragon.
didn't really talk about this
literally
last
putting
campaign
your
because
life on
all
the
the
line for
characters
your
were
friend.
so close by the
Would have
time
been badass, but not
we
warranted.
started doing Talks Machina and the
Yeah.
stream and everything like that. But do you think it's hard for some people to remember that their characters aren't as close because all of you are so close in real life, and to have to like continuously make that separation and go like, I have to focus on this person's selfishness, or you know what I mean? Is that a struggle, or does it seem like, because I feel like the in and out of game, because if you're seeing somebody, you know, they've worked so hard on this character and they're
yeah.
about to go and you're like, I think I would
for-
save myself in that situation.
I think for me and Liam early on in the campaign, for a lot of us early on in the campaign, it was a lot of like, fuck these guys. I don't
think
care
so.
about them.
That's how I felt. That
but
was
now
very
It's getting to be a closer knit
selfless.
group, and you're seeing some of those walls drop away.
especially
and
not
stuff. I think
stealing
Liam's
all the
character
time.
still has
I
those
understand it's
walls
just the
up.
kleptomaniac
So it's
in
exciting,
Not. But
to see
Not
him,
is
like,
very
give up the
comes
books
off
to go
selfish.
to rescue
Not
his
at all.
friends, even if he won't admit
Like
it.
giving to Caleb all the
is
time.
getting more attached. to these
Obviously,
people.
gesture
in spite of
and
himself.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, Caleb especially, of everybody, Caleb probably
she
has
comes off
the most walls.
because of the fact she wants to steal
and
everything.
for good
But that's
reason.
just
and
in
and
her.
watching even him making these choices and having moments of almost like self-reflection of like, what are you doing, Caleb, as he does
Right.
them.
Yeah.
The subtleties are fascinating, and to the point of like going from Vox Machina, where they were so tight by the time you got to see them, and then throughout the whole first campaign that was streamed, they were so close. To then go to the Mighty Nein, it was such a like a system shock almost, even for us as friends. And there were moments when there were blow-ups between characters, or at the end of the episode, we had to like check in and be like, "Hey, we're cool, right?" Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're like,
Remember
"Yeah, no,
we-
that was a great scene. That was amazing."
We
And
did have that.
It feels weird to like sit in that space somewhat, but it makes sense, and we know that in the long run, as these, we tell these stories of people coming together, that it'll naturally get there. Just sometimes it's a little bumpy on the road, and that's what makes it fun for us as performers.
Right,
and
that's improv too,
and as
right?
players,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's also kind of interesting for me to watch just like Liam's character. He doesn't think very highly of himself,
Nuh-uh.
I don't follow.
but
what
also
are you talking about?
it has been the most sort of selfish in his actions.
Yeah.
Whereas Not also does not think very highly of herself, but
Very
is the opposite
selfless,
and is
yes.
just quick to care about other people instead. And it's
I
interesting
think
to
Not
see
is
how
very
those
caring and
paths
stuff.
are
I
sort of
also feel
diverging
like
a little
Not
bit.
Who
has
does not
very
feel
little
the
value
least
of her
close
own
to
life,
at
maybe.
this point in time?
Not that she's
Like, least
suicidal or
close to-
Yeah, as far as
wants
like,
to die, but
who
I
do you
feel
think is
like
still
I feel
As,
like
in
I
the
feel
game
like
as in life, Brian Foster.
she doesn't consider that.
Yeah,
Like
just
when
has
like we
no
asked
not
earlier,
yet
connection
been
but I
at all.
feel like
introduced.
the
I have
way
not
I
yet
see
been
her,
introduced as the big
that
daddy of the game yet.
life and death
You
is second
you spoiled
to
the whole.
the task or the goal at the
Now
moment.
we got to call Jason Charles Miller.
I think probably. I mean, no one's super close with Yasha because she's a woman of few words.
He's aloof, yeah.
She's aloof. But,
Molly and her were good friends till that happened.
I guess Yasha. She's also still a little bit scared of Yasha,
Yeah,
as she should be.
yeah. Makes sense. I think I'm looking forward to learn more about her too. Everybody
all
is, yeah, we all are. Matt, Rabology.
At least
this
we're
session
wrapped up in
seems like
Ford's
it could have
saga
gone
for
in a
now.
multitude of
No
directions
one's really
between how
getting
the Mighty
their
Nine
turn
interacted with the
until
fun
Ford's
ball
thing is
and
over.
which of the hundreds of pocket dungeon rooms they stumble into. Did you have a lot of these scenarios planned out, or was the dragon the end goal?
I had a few different options depending on what rolls were made, in what order, and what parts of which chamber were futzed with. They never went through like the black tapestry in the first chamber.
Oh.
Wait, what?
In the very first chamber you guys entered, there were
It
the
was a
four
red, green, blue,
Black.
black.
and the black was the one you guys never futzed with.
We never even pulled it over?
No.
Because y'all cast that Speak with Dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I told you.
right.
And it would have led to a
Right.
pretty rough encounter, but there was another path behind there. Like there were different
wow.
different
See,
ways
when
it
they
could have
were
gone. I
doing
didn't
it,
know.
did you build?
in my
Because you
mind,
brought
I
out
felt
three,
like
right?
we didn't
There were three back
explore
there,
one
and
of
then I
them.
had
But in my mind, I'm
two
like,
in
I
the
must have
other
just
room.
missed it, or it happened real quick. I thought
didn't
one
know
was
which
missing.
Yeah, I know.
go.
That's the
But
thing.
in my
You
head,
just
I was
build
like,
them
no,
all,
we
right?
saw them all. Like, I feel like I was the same as Sam.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought we
sheet
did.
type, pack setup back there. I was curious to see what choices are going to be made and what things were for now. And like the red cloak
There were
was kind
so
of a
many choices
you
to
know,
make, though. It could
the
have went
safest route
100
was to go through the red
directions.
door, but there were other paths to go, and it worked out that the dragon, and I made the dragon is not really a battle you win, more like a challenge that you try and find a way out before it kills you.
Interesting.
And so the fact that it did go down, I was like, fair play.
Okay.
Fair play.
I thought the same thing there too. I didn't think Matt
That was scary.
expected us
First
to beat it.
dragon is terrifying.
I think we were supposed, like, it was one of those
dragon.
things, like,
First dragon.
you got to run away and maybe come back one day and defeat it.
Sam, you barely
or
survived. dude.
don't. But I
was
didn't think
worried.
we were supposed to
As
beat
much
it
as we
till
joke,
Twiggy did.
I was worried. And you know why? There's no way you've come up with a good backup character yet.
You'd be surprised. He
I
is
even thought-
a handsome actor
Oh.
named Stan Siegel.
Does he also
I
have a
honestly thought
goatee
that they
so
should
yellow
have
you
kept the
can't believe it's
dragon
not butter?
alive. Maybe we could befriend it at some
Like
point.
Terry.
But honestly, after finding out there's 100 chambers, that's a
2283
lot.
Les wants to know for both of you, given that the dragon's breath was shown to have the potential to knock out most of the party with a single turn, how worried were you at the chance of a TPK? Now here's my issue with that term TPK. Every time the Mighty Nein starts an encounter, the chat's like TPK, 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 TPK,
I know,
TPK.
it's
TPK.
ridiculous.
Anyway, but please answer the question.
I hope not. That's a fuck up on my part if that happens.
Not according
It's
to
a
Matt
fuck up on both
Colville.
our parts, really, if it happens. Because we reach a certain point in the battle where you go, we have to go. You know, even if we lost somebody, we'll try and find a way to get them back.
Yeah.
You know, and you're almost at a level where you can really kind of do that to a certain extent. But I was worried. I made sure that it was a
I don't know if I know what that is.
a battlefield
I know I've
where
seen
there
it
are
before.
multiple
Why am I
avenues, so
brainstorming on
there was a very
TPK?
little chance of the whole party funneling itself into one path.
Right.
And they had a lot of abilities to get around quickly.
Total party kill. I
You
know
had
I've seen it
Caduceus,
before.
who is just
I'm
amazing
like, why
getting
have I
people back
seen
up.
that? Not
Like I was
often,
like,
'cause
I feel
not
pretty
often
good
are we in that
that
position.
they'll understand very quickly
I'm
into
pretty
this
sure I've seen that in World of
perhaps it's not
Warcraft
something
and stuff, in
you know
raids.
you're meant to defeat necessarily. You're looking for the exit. I left enough clues to show you that there appears to be some sort
When
of
I
exit.
saw it,
it's
I'm
just
like,
not
I know that, but I
currently
can't
powered.
remember.
Here's
It's
the
been a
challenge.
while
Go.
since I played
And,
World of Warcraft. Probably like 5
But
to
when people
10
started coming
years.
in different orders, I was like, oh no, this
Oh
is
yeah.
this is going to be rough.
For me, the trigger that opened the portal, the exit, was cold magic, or just any magic.
It was whatever magic first triggered it,
Okay,
then needed to be completed on both.
got it.
So if one tried fire, the other side, it would have done nothing.
Got it.
But if someone had hit, like fire bolted the first crystal, then it would have been a red line that goes through.
That makes a lot of
So
sense.
I didn't want to narrow it so hard. Where like if nobody prepared any cold spells, I'm like, well, you're all fucked, you know.
Right.
But it was whoever cast the first type of magic, whatever type of damage it was, that would have been what both needed to trigger. Wow. And it was a proximity based thing. So yeah, I was confident that you guys would probably make it through okay. It was the minute that you guys began to stagger your arrivals that I was like, ooh, this is.
Because now we
This
could
is
get
gonna be
hammered.
rough.
Yeah.
Staggering
Note
the
to self,
arrivals.
Sam.
If the rolls
with
were
the- don't
right, the
split the pearls,
dragon
split the
could
party.
have took
Party, dude.
someone out each time.
Books and
Bud
power
books.
and magic.
It's true.
Butt books.
If LeVar Burton
Butt
has taught us
books.
anything,
Butt books. is it.
books.
Butt books.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I can.
hashtag butt books.
He's gonna get a lot of tweets tonight.
Oh
He's not
my
gonna know.
God.
He's
What is
not
going
gonna.
on?
Look at her books.
Look at her.
They are so big.
Oh boy. Well, should we give away some more free
Yes,
butt?
let's do it.
Free butt
Giving away
books?
Free butt books for everybody.
Free
It's
butt
time
books.
for fan art of the week.
Fan art of the week. Look at the dog. The dog is
Cacophony
out.
of noise.
Even with all that noise,
That's what we all do now.
the dog is
You see
out.
at the top of every show.
You know what gets yelled at the
Is
top
that
of the
the
show. Look, it's like a
Wangu?
recorder.
Is that the?
Oh, that's
is that what he called it?
unnecessary.
I never
Wangu.
played one of those. Don't know how. This week's fan art winner for Campaign 2, Episode 45, was sent in by Noah Warner at Tez Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch.
Let's take a look.
Oh yeah.
Tez Sasquatch.
I love
I
that
love
piece.
that.
That is
Excellent.
really awesome. It's like
Look at the mask.
so many colors.
The eyes are real cool.
The eyes
Yeah, I
are
love the
amazing.
eyes.
The expression
Mage
is great.
hand.
I love the
mage
stitching.
hand.
The mage hand.
Mage hand
Mage
over
hand.
there.
It's a good mix.
That's
Like, some
pretty
people
awesome.
draw not
And I
cute,
love the
some
purple.
people draw not real ugly. That's a good mix. That's a
Okay,
good mix
yeah.
of
I dig
images.
that.
feels
That
right
might
for
be
you.
my
I'm
favorite.
glad you made Not as a
picture of Not.
character. I think she's just visually
Definitely
fascinating in comparison to the rest of the
Earned
group.
the win.
Yeah.
That
That
first
might be one of my
episode when you're
favorite
like, a
knots.
little
Some of them, like
goblin
Sam
girl,
was
and they
saying,
did the
some of them
voice, and
are
you're like, yep,
way
we're
different.
doing it.
I like that. That's a nice little balance mix of Not.
I loved it. I was like, let's go, man. Yeah. Okay. Congrats to you, Noah. Forgot his name for a second there.
Congrats, Noah.
You have won this Wenge, isn't that right?
Wenge.
Sure.
Isn't that what we
I
have
said
to say it?
I
I
don't
think
know
that's
anymore.
Venge.
I think Wangu is beef.
Dice vault with tiger
Wenge.
maple inlay. These are cool, man.
Wenge
pretty
wood.
rad.
Max, can I have one of these?
No.
Okay.
No.
You can enter this by pulling it, or you can enter our weekly contest by emailing your GIF or your fan art to, what is it, Sam?
Submit.
So
At
I don't know why. Look at Matt's face.
talksmachina.com.
Oh, you remembered the email.
How
I only
neat.
remember the first part.
Rules for our contests are available at critroll.com. You know, that's our website.
Oh.
Travis and Laura didn't.
Oh.
Both of them. I was like, and what's our website, guys? I threw to them, and they were like,
They have
I
baby
think it's
brain.
critical. They do have baby
They're not
brain.
sleeping
They have
much. It's
baby.
a noob.
Oh,
They have poop on their
because they actually have a baby.
Poop on
I
brains.
literally thought he meant
Sam,
they had
yeah.
Why
baby-sized
can't
brains.
I
I'm like,
be a
I know the
mermaid wants
friends.
to know?
That's a little cooler, but they got baby brains, like baby
I'll
on
ask
the
you
brain.
that in After Dark.
There you go.
Are the
Why
adventures
can't
she's
I be
been
a
on
mermaid?
and the courageous things she's done in battle beginning to make Not feel like she's earned her comma? Is she beginning
thought
to
it said
see herself
coma.
in a slightly different light?
I believe that the character of Not, which I play on a show called Critical Role.
It's my job to. All right.
Well, I was told when you
Not the
when you're in
brave.
an interview, you always repeat the question in the answer, right?
Yeah, you
Well,
did that on my
Brian
Between the Sheets, and we
Foster.
had to edit it out every.
Is that true?
No. You did answer the first 4 or 5 by going, well, Emmy Award-winning Sam Riegel will answer that.
I do
by
remember
saying,
that.
I mean, we had to cut a lot of those.
I do
out.
remember that.
That gets tedious. I've forgotten the question.
The question was,
Has she earned her comma?
The
Does she
comma.
feel like she's brave
Not
now?
see
the
yourself
brave
in a slightly different
Is
light.
not
I think
truly
when
the
she's,
brave. I think
the
so.
thing
I
that-
would
one of the
say
things she
after
likes
last
about
episode,
being
yes.
with part of this group, being part of the Mighty Nine, being with all of these friends, is she has these moments like this battle, like the dragon encounter, where she feels briefly she forgets who she is, and can just be part of a thing that's greater than
family,
herself. She can be the person that she thinks she thinks she is inside. She can be brave. She can be useful. She can be heroic, and then right after it's over, I think sometimes the world just comes crashing back down to reality again, and so that's why she turns to the drink a bit, because when she's
Turns to
out of
the
those
drink.
moments, that's when it's like, oh no, I'm still
Right.
a goblin.
Yeah. I asked,
Turns to
I
the
can't remember, a couple weeks ago, I asked somebody who was on here, the campaign the last little while has been very, how do I say it without saying it? It's been focused on Ford.
Nice.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then I yelled at you.
And then you yelled at me, and then Tumblr yelled at me, but they're not around anymore.
It's definitely focused on Ford.
one
though.
less voice.
I understand what
telling me
they're
to shut
probably
the fuck
saying.
up. No, I'm kidding. I
that
love you all.
They could do what they want to do, and they're
Are
their
you
own people.
prepared for
But we're on Ford's
when
journey
that
in my
spotlight
mind.
turns
right now,
onto you and
we're
it's
we're
time for
willingly
a lot
doing
of your
it. It's not like we're
backstory
being
threads to be
forced
connected
there.
to the overall
Ford
picture of what's
kind of
happening, or
asked,
are you like
Yo,
nervous
we're
about
good
that?
with this in
I'm
so many
super
ways. I
nervous
feel
about
like.
that. I don't know if and when that will happen.
Right.
I mean, everyone is writing their own story in the
But
process.
I'm super nervous about it.
But we are definitely
because
going
there's-
towards
There's stuff
Ford's
the cast doesn't know
journey.
about my character. There's stuff that I don't know about.
And anything can
her
lead to
and
other stories
where,
or
you know,
adventures.
where
right
she's
now,
going, what Matt has planned
very
for her, what
Ford-centric.
Matt has. You know, I gave Matt some backstory elements a year ago, but I don't know what those have turned into
Right.
since then.
Yeah.
So it's making me nervous for sure, and especially since Not as a character doesn't love the spotlight on her so much. So having everyone sort of crowd around her and ask her things about, where are we going now? What's this all about? Who's that guy? You know,
Right,
like
yeah.
that's going to be tough.
Yeah. A lot of the heavy Scanlan stuff was so late into the last campaign, no spoilers, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
no
I'm excited.
spoilers.
But you
I think
love the
that's a spoiler.
spotlight so much, though. So
Without a
you
spoiler.
secretly have to be like,
But I
come
don't
on,
care.
Travis, of
even
all
if it is,
people,
I'm joking.
let's move things along here. you
Yeah.
know?
No, that's where Not and I differ a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So many theories, Danny.
So many theories about Nott's backstory.
Hit me with one right now.
No, I don't want to. I mean, I have a lot. Do you want me to actually throw one at you?
Please.
No, don't.
Yeah.
No, don't.
No, don't.
The problem is she's too smart.
Yes.
Too smart for the kind of shallow shit.
She's our Siri.
You know.
I don't want there to be any gives because there'll be like the whole thread on Reddit being like, I saw Matt's eye twitch. That means she's correct.
Oh, that's right.
Or they'll be
That's
like I saw his
Matt
foot
literally
do
was
a
like,
circle
"Please don't,
3 seconds
please
after
don't."
she said it. That means
He
he's
was
totally
very
wrong.
serious.
she
Like, no,
says it,
no.
just
And I
make a
get
heart
him.
attack.
He said it before
yeah.
that if you give any theories or
Why'd we
suggestions
do
at
that?
all,
I don't know.
Not as actually
The comments
an
light up.
automaton.
Matt is like
With the towel.
literally like, don't do it.
Sick Kiri
Don't
up.
do
I
it.
feel they
Stop.
always tell me
Straight
that
out
Kiri was uncomfortable the whole episode,
like I said,
and
I get
Kiri
it.
this
Jester.
and Kiri that.
It'll
Well,
like
Jester's
whatever she
that's
says
okay.
will either become
Matt,
Yeah.
like lore
Tris-
or people will
Tristanan
freak
says,
out like he said
I
over
cried
an
when
Twitch.
Jester was sat on by Sam. No, I cried when Jester braced herself for collision and instead the Traveler helped protect her. What in the moment made you decide to add that particular flavor? Was it something you'd already had planned in case Jester got in a situation like that, or was it 100% improv?
No, that was complete improv.
Traveler
That was
used a
just reading the
shield,
moment.
or
You know,
or
as
it
a
was
dungeon master,
like-
a lot of it's just
he said it was like
listening and reading the player's
a shield went
emotions and
up and
finding
protected
what
you. The Traveler has come.
narratively helps facilitate a heroic story.
Yeah.
And watching Jester circumstantially, even when she wasn't alone, there were people around, but just to her it seemed like she was alone, and just seeing that
What did Sam
heartbreak
do?
was so
Sam
heart-wrenching.
did something more to the pillar.
And the dice worked in her favor in that moment, and narratively it was like, this would be a wonderful little dramatic story beat to play into it. So it was not planned, it was purely improvised. And it was one of those things where, especially based on the fact that Traveler hadn't really responded a lot recently, instead choosing those poignant, perfect moments to appear and support her, it just kind of came out organically. And as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, that was really cool.
Is this Traveler-Jester relationship
I love that we
playing
got a
out how
little
you
Kiri.
thought back when you
know
guys
if you
first
guys
talked
see
about
Kiri
it, or
right there.
the beginning of the campaign?
In some
Little
ways, yes,
Kiri.
in some ways, no.
She's behind my chair.
I wasn't sure how invested she was going to be in the Traveler. When you create a character who has some sort of a deity, especially
I mean,
a
it
cleric
makes
character,
perfect sense
some
that
sort of
she
a
would
figure or a
be,
patron that they take their
but
divine magic from, it can
I
be
feel
like,
like
oh yeah, I believe
know
in this
no
thing.
other version
but
of
it's not-
Jester at this point.
It doesn't define me as a person. The way that she's been playing Jester, it's so much more suffused in her life, and so it's made for a lot of really interesting story dynamics I've been able to play with and are hoping to continue to play with.
Such a fascinating relationship.
I love it. I'm excited to
Yeah.
explore more of it.
The Traveler is Tarian, right?
Oh my god.
I
Tyrion?
Oh my god.
Okay.
I would be so happy.
He's leveled up a bit since the last campaign.
Who? I don't
He's
know who this
omnipresent
is.
and can teleport everywhere.
Nothing
know.
would make me happier.
I thought he said Tyrion, like
Femi
Tyrion
London
Lannister.
says Sam would not have
but I
endangered
don't think
herself
I'm
so
getting that
egregiously
reference.
if Caleb had not abandoned her. Does not see it that way?
No, Caleb was trying to save himself, save his bacon. He's a weak, puny man. that needs to
Yeah,
get
I
out of
wouldn't have
danger.
held it
Yeah.
against him.
I don't think that she views it as Caleb
Abandonment.
abandoning her.
Yeah,
as much
it
as
was-
Caleb
It was her
doing
being like,
the smart
Caleb,
thing
get
and
out of here.
getting out of Dodge like
yeah,
everybody else
I would
was.
expect Caleb to flee so I don't have to
Caleb were
worry,
there-
basically.
That would have been harder because
Yeah. You want
if
your
Nat were put in a
weaker
position
people
where she has
fleeing.
to either
and by
sacrifice
weak, I
herself
mean
to
health-wise.
protect Jester or
Caleb's by
sacrifice
himself,
herself to
low on
protect
health.
Caleb,
Get out
I
of here.
think,
You're only
Jester would be
being a
dead.
detriment sticking around.
I think so too. I mean, yeah. But that's what we were talking about earlier, though. Is staying true to the character, right? And like, yeah. I mean, that would suck, but ultimately,
Yeah.
you have made it clear that you protect him at all costs.
Yeah, we made our alliance very early on in the Survivor game, and we're sticking to it.
I'd be really interested to see if next campaign you guys play characters who fucking hate each other.
Fun.
That'll be
Next
fun.
campaign? We can't think about next campaign now.
Yeah, we
We're
still got
only
plenty
on
of
episode
this one.
45.
We got at least 3 more episodes of this campaign to get through.
I was told 2. Max, how many do we have left? Oh, well, that's not going to help. Matt,
Yes, sir.
save us from Max hating his job with an
Max.
answer to a question.
Like
Jimmy DeBig.
beating on Max
It's
some
the
more.
Big Jimmy is what it is. With the time dilation
Big
effect,
Jimmy.
did Bo pop out of the
Jimmy,
orb
Big,
early and then have to
Big
wonder about the fate of her party for hours or days?
No,
for the return.
Yeah,
The
when
return.
Bo had emerged, it probably would have been minutes.
Minutes, okay.
So it wasn't that dilated.
Yeah.
But she would have probably for a brief period of time until other people started coming out of it, been like, oh my God, they're all dead. It's been a minute and a half, 2 minutes with a dragon. You know, that's pretty, intense. Plus, considering when everyone's out safe, I think her conversation with Caduceus at the end was a really cool way of I don't know,
enjoyed
that was
that.
a really interesting way to end the episode.
I
Kind of
agree.
watching like Caduceus and Bo kind of almost
Bo
become
didn't
the
go to
parental
sleep.
units.
Caduceus poured cups of
For
tea.
the recovery of
couple
that.
cups of
Everyone else
tea
kind
and
of
had a
having their
little
little
chat.
emotional breakdowns.
Yeah.
And
Two
that's why I said
people
I'm
you wouldn't
fascinated to see what
normally
happens
see
this Thursday.
conversing at the end,
we've
especially.
had a number of episodes in a row that have been very kind of intense and adventure to escape to kind of insanity. Now we're just at sea. And
These weeks have been a lot.
I know.
It has been a lot, yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Great.
Loved
I'm
it.
not complaining.
Yeah,
I'm
great
just
stuff.
saying,
People get a little bit of a break to digest everything. We also people
the
can
Kraken
catch up.
rises.
People can maybe catch up if they're behind a couple episodes. Hopefully you're not watching tonight. Although if you are, we love you still. Sam,
So sincere.
it was sincere, dude. This is just my fucking face. Sam, the best username in the world outside of Arsqueef and Pullout King and REO Teabaggin. And
Ario Teabagging
But
is
it's Lord have
my
Mercer.
favorite. I am sorry.
Sam does
Lord
not see
have
Pain and
mercy.
Jester the same
That's
way
good.
she did with Caleb and Caduceus,
Pullout
or does she
King
believe Jester is happy
It's just
and
inappropriate,
fine?
but also great.
Sorry. I was
Arsqueef
confused by
is
the question
great.
because I heard you say.
And we've watched
does
videos by
Not see
Arsqueef.
pain.
But I think Ario Teabagging is just so
Not
unique
see
and
pain in
glorious.
Jester. It's very confusing. So does not see pain in Jester, same way she did in Caleb and Caduceus, or does she believe Jester is happy and fine? I think we all have picked up on some loneliness
I think
issues
so.
in Jester, especially
Even Bo
recently.
called her out.
Jester has also
Bo
confided in
flat
that
out called
recently,
Jester out on
about
being
like
sad
kissing
at the
a
end.
boy and
Jester
liking a boy
lied.
and stuff like that.
And then got called out on being
So I
a
don't think
bad liar.
she views Jester's issues as severe as Caleb's. Like she's, I think, not as happy these days that Caleb is talking to other people and feeding himself regularly.
Right.
Yeah, Jester is a functional person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's definitely picked up on some of the stuff that Jester's going through, and it's been interesting for me to see Jester evolve sort of as like this flitty, frilly, lighthearted character for most of the first half of the campaign, and now we're getting to this sort of like sadness, this core of sadness.
That's very true.
And she talks to a guy who's not there.
Yeah,
and
she was
pines
very
after this other guy who
jolly,
doesn't really seem to know she
childlike, very
exists, and-
childlike. Then we meet her mom. Then we had a run. Then she had the kiss with Ford. Now she's like, she's just,
Matt,
it's like,
question about Yasha. Sunshine Luma
She ain't
says,
as
how did Yasha handle
jolly
the
as
fact
she
that her
used to be.
friends suddenly vanished without any explanations, like she has done so
Yeah,
many times
how are we
before?
gonna
What do
deal
you
with
think
that?
she was doing during that time?
Not happy at all.
Yeah. I'd imagine
We may
not.
get to explore some of that this Thursday.
ooh, look at this.
So I don't want to
Not
go too deep
happy
into that.
at all.
But yeah, consider her friends just vanished. All they found left was this weird mechanical ball. That
I mean,
I'm
she
sure
can't be
Yasha
mad.
messed with for a short period of time and then went, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But she spent 6 days thinking that her friends were never going to come back. But she's also, she's been through a lot of loss, and
I can
she's
understand
wandered
her
the wastes
being
alone. Like
upset
this isn't
about
something
it,
where she
but I
breaks
hope
down in a
she's not
corner
mad
and
at
is
us.
inconsolable.
We
She just kind of
clearly
hardens
didn't
to it
intend on that.
and continues to move on.
How would
and
we have
then
known? I
hopes
mean-
for the best.
She's been through some shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't imagine
Played
she'd
so
be
brilliantly by
very
my
angered by
fiancée.
it, like overly.
Now that's a French term.
Mrs. Mr. Ashley Johnson.
Mr.
Everyone's starting to get the hang of it now.
Brian Ashley Johnson.
That's going to be it for questions, but
What are you
for
talking
the
about? What? We just got started.
we did. What time is it? No, that's it, bro.
wow.
That's it.
What do we do now?
Now, something we've done for the month of December every episode is a Christmas spotlight, for
Oh,
stuff
the
that people
gifts.
have
I
sent
keep
in
forgetting we
forever.
have this. The gifts.
Yes.
We
We're
had the
showing off some of the
Jester
amazing. It's because you don't watch the
Barbie-looking
fucking
thing.
show, you douchebag.
We had
Show off
Travis's
some of the
sword.
amazing Christmas presents that the critters have sent us. So
What is
the,
this
the
one?
one we have for tonight
It's gotta be
is,
not
now this
centric.
is heavy and it's awesome.
The fact that
it's
Sam's
the
here,
Blind
right?
Weaver made by Elaine Ryan. At Elaine Ryan Art. Why don't you take that over there, Matt?
For Matt?
What?
So this is a painting.
That's
but
amazing.
then there's a coat
Show it
of
to the people.
This is incredible.
It's got a coating of like polyurethane
what
or
is
something.
that?
Yeah, it's
But the
something like that.
polyurethane has
And Matt
colors sort
Mercer.
of layered into
Yeah,
it.
it's like
I'm
three-dimensional
trying to see,
in a
like,
lot
oh
of
man, I
places,
just
the way
like,
it's
is that
done.
Grog and was that
I saw
Vox
a
Machina
picture,
in
a
the
scan
board?
of this.
I can't see it.
when,
It looked like
I
pipe.
met her
Am I
briefly.
going crazy?
But seeing it in
Show it
person,
upside down,
it's
Matt.
Yeah.
incredible.
Matt, show it upside down for us.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Shit.
Now, something I've told everyone when we
was upside
show
down,
them
so
the
I
gifts
couldn't
on the
get a
show
good
is if you don't have room for it or something and you want to leave it for Talks Machina set, aka my house.
Yeah, right? That's Percy? Yeah, yeah,
isn't
it's
that
Vox
amazing?
Machina.
Look at
Grog,
all the
Elaine did such an
different
incredible
colors
job
and
on
all
this.
this stuff.
Vax, the dragon,
Oh, man.
Trinket.
That's so cool.
That's
little
Pike,
dragon down there.
Percy. Who we missing?
like it.
Scanlan.
That's
Where was
amazing.
Scanlan?
Elaine Ryan is her name.
Why
by the
didn't
way.
I
You should
see-
find
I
her
don't think I
Twitter.
saw
Her artwork is
Scanlan.
incredible.
what was the it's at Elaine
Ryan.
Ryan Art. Yes, that's correct. What were you gonna say, Sam?
I was gonna say, what did I
Elaine.
get?
You,
Yeah,
sir,
what does Sam get?
your
Where's my present?
very own copy of, let's see here.
Where's the art that someone made for me?
Yep, I've got it right here.
Dan.
I
got
think
it
it's
right
funny
here.
that every time he gives a gift,
You
Brian
absolutely
goes,
get
if you'd like to keep it in the
Not Wild
studio,
Things on
please do.
VHS.
I feel like all of them should stay in the
thank
studio
you.
so we can
Here we
all
go.
see
I
it.
love
Like the
Not
Jester
Wild
dolls
Things.
back
There we go. You get Not Wild Things
on VHS.
Now, we should have spelled it
Is
with
that the one with Nev Campbell?
Nev
in it?
Campbell,
sure as fuck is,
100%,
and Denise
sure as
Richards,
fuck is.
and America's
Denise Richards,
Matt Dillon,
Matt
Kevin
Dillon,
Bacon.
Kevin, like, I
It's
can't even
dark,
get the names
it's
out.
mysterious,
Brian's on fire.
It's
It's not
wild.
Things.
It's not Wild
Things.
Things on VHS.
Thank you, critters. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank
Wild
you.
Things was an interesting
for making
movie.
this
Came
holiday
out,
so great.
I want to say,
I would like to
late
officially
90s.
invite you back onto
Maybe
Talks
mid-90s,
Machina,
late
January 8th. Why don't you remove your phone
It had good
and put
music.
it in your
I don't know who
calendar
did the
right
music,
now?
but it had good
We
music.
would like the whole cast, if we can. We probably won't get Ashley. I'm probably going to say right now we probably won't have Ashley because I know when she's going back. But we can have you, man. Can you do it?
No.
Remind me on January 8th to call in sick.
Son of a
January 8th. You know what's
you
weird?
son of a bitch.
There it is.
In
There you go.
8 hours, it's January 8th. That's weird.
Don't say
They
beautiful.
said, "Are you available
Tell him
January
he has a
8th?"
duty.
In
you want to?
8
You don't want him
hours,
to be
it
here
is
to answer
January 8th.
questions about the
But
campaign
it's
so
also
far.
For
Man, you guys.
actually 5
The other thing I
years
want to
later.
spotlight
I think this is
this
2018.
amazing painting.
I know.
If it's
I don't know if you
2018,
guys can
it
see
is
this on the wide
currently
shots, but
2023.
this was sent in by
That is
at
adorable.
Stronghold Art and
That is
or
great.
it's Stronghold Art actually.
Honestly, that is
and,
very well made.
Our little man Sully. So we're gonna get this framed and put it up somewhere.
That's
but
sweet.
it was just so beautiful.
Brian,
and thanks
don't-
to everyone who sent this
Brian
in. And then
that
what's
gets
this?
very emotional
I can't
about
remember
Sully.
who did this. Have
Which
you guys
is
seen
understandable.
this?
Looks like
No.
looks like Hugo's art.
It kind of looks like Hugo. This one.
I've seen that before.
Wait, but I can't read
Not
it. It's
in
too
that
small.
frame. I've seen
this
it
one is so
online.
fun.
I've seen that image online.
All the
Man.
gifts. This is so nice.
Isn't that cool? I know. We're just like
I
that's
dig
the
that
thing
one.
that we
I've seen
love
that
about the set is
somewhere
most
on a
of the set
thumbnail or
is
something.
stuff that people
We got like 10
so
minutes of gift giving. I love
graciously
it.
fucking sent in.
The dog,
And,
look at the dog.
I want to apologize to the people from Quebec who sent in that jar that is now broken. Guys, what'd you say?
The Quebec, what did you say?
We want to thank Loot Crate for sponsoring the show
Loot
tonight.
Crate. Is Loot Crate still a thing?
Is everyone going to
5
enjoy their
years
time
later?
off?
2023. I don't hear about Loot Crate
Lucky
anymore.
walks out for the dog freak.
Chris Lockey.
Chris-
Henry was like, there's an evil. Get him. Get him.
Chris Lockey walks in and the dog barks.
Oh.
What if it violently
Did
attacked
you guys have
him?
any
I
great
would
big
laugh a
plans
little
for?
bit and then
Now
be
I
a
plan
little
on going to
concerned.
your Christmas event again this year. Now last year,
My apologies.
should we shame them publicly?
Yeah, let's do it. So
Ashley and I showed up to Sam and his lovely wife Quien's house.
yeah, I have a party a couple days before Christmas every year, and I always invite the whole cast.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, Brian and Ashley came, and that's it.
No one else.
No one else showed
No
up.
one else.
Yeah.
And don't try to tell me that mini Burning Man was happening like you guys pulled last year. We know
Are
there's
they
only one
guilt
Burning
tripping
Man. You guys
Matt?
were like, no,
They're
we're at
literally
mini
guilt
Burning
tripping
Man. It's
Matt
in
on
Cleveland. We're
live
like, that's not real.
shows.
No, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case.
And they're zooming in
You
on
wanted
him
to go to
too.
your Christmas party like you want to come on January 8th.
No, we'll be there this year though.
You will?
I sent an RSVP.
You did?
I don't have access to it. My wife is running
I
it,
didn't
so.
see the guest list.
That's amazing. Oh, that's
And I don't
great.
even like oysters.
It's an oyster
I
party. We're gonna
honestly,
be, shucking
I
oysters.
have so many
It's gonna be
friends
fun.
that have
It's gonna be
parties.
great.
Now, just for the
often,
folks at home, that is
and a
literally
lot of
what we will
times
be
because
doing.
they have
He's
so
not
many
talking
parties,
about-
a lot of people
Yeah,
don't
sorry,
show
Danny.
up. I feel like the best
Well,
thing to
that's all
do,
the
but then
time.
again, Sam is saying it's every Christmas, so maybe he does
That's
it
all
once
the
a
time
year
we have
and no
for
one shows
tonight.
up. But that's like
thank you guys
always
for a great
the
year.
problem with throwing a party. You
We're
always
almost to 100
worry
episodes of
that
Talks
people
Machina.
got
This
other
is
parties
episode
to go to.
94.
People got
That's
families, stuff like
I
that.
know. Maybe we'll do something special for 100. We've been
I feel bad though
scheming
when
and
you try to
planning
throw a party
things.
and no one shows up.
It'll be sometime in February.
Never happened to me, but I don't throw a whole lot of parties.
But we love you all. Happy holidays. Stick around for Talks Machina After Dog on
After Dog.
projectalpha.com. I would like to
Did
thank
he say After Dog?
more beautiful than Nev Campbell.
I could swear he said
Sam
After
Riegel,
Dog.
his final appearance.
More beautiful
the
than
year
Nev
and
Campbell.
ever. Matthew Mercer. Just
Go fuck yourself.
amen.
fuck yourself.
We've got Steve.
I
We've
love
got
it.
Chris. We've got Danny. We've got
Max.
Max. We've got other Chris. We've got better Chris. We have Zach. We have Chandler. We have
Better
everybody.
Chris.
Thank you to everyone here who makes the show happen. We love you all. Episode
Happy New Year.
46 of Critical Role airs this Thursday. Until then, don't forget to love each other. Don't worry. It's almost Thursday. Stay turned, my friends.
All right, guys, so that is it for episode 45 of Talks Machina. I actually was curious if this was the last episode of the year. They're acting like it is. He might have even said it was. The way he exited and everything, he was saying goodbye to the crew and like doing a little extra at the end. I looked and I don't know when it started or stopped, but it looks like every one of the last couple episodes and future episodes were dropped on December 20th. So I don't know if all of them were or if they were just dropped all at once. All I know is I feel like it has to be older than 2019, but either way, I can't really tell. All I know is the studio changes in the next video, and the next Talks Machina video is titled Campaign 2 So Far. It is in episode 46, and then the next one after that is Talks Machina episode 47. So, my only guess is that they not only talk about episode 46, but the entire campaign up to that point. I know there's 140 something episodes total in campaign 2. So I guess at that point we will have roughly 100 left, probably less. I think there's like 142, 143 episodes. We've talked about it 100 times and I can never remember the exact number because so many numbers fly through my head. Either way though, this, to me, was the final episode of the year. I loved it. We got Sam. We got Matt Mercer. We're talking Christmas. We're talking parties. They're talking about all of them getting together, but Ashley Johnson couldn't make it January 8th. I'm guessing that is the campaign 2 so far. He kind of mentioned it, but he didn't say the exact title as far as I could remember. But that's got to be the event he's talking about. January 8th. So it is the week after New Year's. That's got to be the episode. We're taking a bit of a break, I guess, for them, holiday break, but we don't ever take a break. We always do an episode a week. I thought the answers and questions were great. We talked about the Chamber of Secrets a bunch. We got a lot of spoilers from Matt, like with the stained glass and the fact that we could have went behind the black cloak, the cape, whatever, the tapestry. I thought the same thing as Sam. I thought somebody examined each one, but in the back of my head, I'm like, did we that quickly go over them all? I remember the door behind the thing, but then again, things were happening so quick. I guess I just got sidetracked and it really didn't matter because how did we know which way would be the better way to go, the safer way to go? Matt was saying the black tapestry would have been a way more difficult way to go. He also said he didn't expect us to defeat the dragon, nor did he expect Twiggy to leave the fun ball behind, the happy fun ball. So I honestly am very happy she did. The way it went down at the end of the episode with Twiggy giving us the ball, I would have bet money that Matt said something to Deborah like, hey, no matter what you do, just at the end, somehow make it where they end up with the ball, because I have plans for it. He said it was the complete opposite. He expected this to kind of be like a one and done, a bottle episode. And Deborah gave us this crazy 100 chamber ball of fun. I am so happy we got it. Do we continue to play with it? Sam basically said to Matt, do you expect us to, or did you expect us to? That's why we got the background behind it. But I hope we tap into it on occasion. Do I want it to become a focus? Probably not. I feel like it's a nice little side quest we could do, like when we're traveling on the ship. We got weeks sometimes of traveling where we're just doing boating. We're basically just doing pirate stuff. So that would be a great time to fiddle around with this Chamber of Secrets with the Happy Fun Ball. But I'm not saying, like, if we got things to do or we're in the middle of options or choices, that's when we sideline Happy Fun Ball. We already saw days went by. In one episode, a week went by. Yasha, Matt said, is not too happy with the situation. I can't imagine she'd be mad at us. Maybe she'll be a little upset, like, guys, what the hell? But I would hope after we explain ourselves, like, yo, unintentional, a green light flashed and we all disappeared. We had no choice but to do this. They had no control over the situation. And honestly, we got through as quick as I feel we could have. It could have taken us way longer. So I feel like once we explain ourselves, Yasha shouldn't be too upset about it, but I get feeling abandoned. Let's just find out. I'm jumping into episode 46. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, the Patreon hour exclusive of every episode of Campaign 2. Next episode, episode 46, is going to be a short one. I looked, and part 1 and 2 are going to barely be 10 minutes each. And then we got the hour Patreon exclusive. So there won't be as much content as YouTube for the next one, but we'll have the live stream, which I believe is a little over 2 hours, if not 2 hours, give or take. Either way, check it out. Link in front. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.